Get peace of mind with the RV Advisor's extended warranty for as low as $14 per month. Visit thervadvisor.com today.
This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. My guests are the Conklins from ConkerCamping.com. It's Joey and Beth. Hey, how you doing, folks?
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having us.
Doing great.
Yeah, great. It's great to have you. And you guys are set up like true pros with your headphones, microphone, and your green screen behind you. So you're no stranger to this crazy world of video casting and podcasting and everything else, right?
Not at all.
Absolutely. We have a podcast every week. So yeah. Joey loves doing this kind of thing.
Yeah. And, we were talking earlier before we came on, and I said your last name is your whole name, Joey Conklin. Joe Conklin is a name of a very famous radio guy in the Philadelphia area who's a comedian and a radio and voice impressionist, and he's absolutely terrific. And you shared with me that you're not related, to the best of your knowledge, but you are quite familiar with his work.
I am definitely familiar with his work. I'm not the Joe Conklin. I'm just the Joey Conklin.
The Joey Conklin. That's okay. That's right. That's perfectly fine. Listen, you're marking your own territory. We're going to try to, get this Joe Conklin out there. And
that's right.
Well known to everybody. So Conker Camping. How long have you guys been doing this whole thing? I know you've got followers on Instagram, you've got a podcast, everything else. Share with us how the adventure began.
Oh, goodness. Well, my parents bought a campground in Eufaula, Alabama about 6 years ago, just after we had our first kid, and they decided that they needed to be a little closer to us. Uh-huh. But they were looking for kind of a retirement business that they wanted to get into. And if you're interested in that, one of our podcasts is all about that and really good posts about it. It's really kind of an interesting story about how they came across this campground in Eufaula. So at that time, though, Joey and I were both working full-time jobs and never really imagined ourselves. You don't look at yourself and say, gee, I really wish we could work on a campground and own a campground. But it's interesting kind of where you get led and where you end up. So Joey quit his full-time job, I guess almost 4 years ago. Is it 4 years now? Three. Time blends together. So he's been working full-time for the campground for 3 years now. Yeah. And I, beginning of the year, quit my full-time job and I started working full-time for the campground. Yeah. And every day is a new adventure. And we thought we need to take some people along for the journey with this. We just cannot it's really kind of we have a lot of neat experiences and we can't just internalize this and just share it amongst ourselves. And so we started the website and the Instagram and the podcast because we wanted to share with others what goes on a daily basis throughout our life, but also give an outlet for others to share with us and our community what they are experiencing. And so throughout our podcast and Instagram and our website, we have discovered so much about the RV lifestyle, the campground life, and just the different adventures that people go on and the different challenges that come across, but also just the true sense of community that they have. Right. And so it's really been a neat experience that we have on a regular basis.
Yeah, you can gather a lot of content when you own a campground or just work at a campground, because especially the campground that we manage is a campground that's been around since like the 60s. Yeah. So you can just imagine the kind of problems that we have, from plumbing to electrical to just redoing buildings. I mean, it's just one thing after the other.
And trying to get it to 2020. you know,
Right.
where it's been for 50 years.
Yeah, or at least 2000 or something. I mean,
Yeah,
just cross into the 21st century, right?
exactly.
But let me ask you. You said it's been there since, you believe, the 60s. So are there any other? I know people are really into. We've had a lot of folks that are really into restoration and kind of maintaining sort of the charm of certain elements or aspects from that time. Have you guys done any of that? Is there anything on the site that says, hey, wow, look at that, that's from 1964 or something, and it's in pristine condition? Does that happen?
No, most definitely. We have this, I call it the office, Beth calls it the clubhouse.
Uh-huh.
It is KOA 1970 looking, and there's nothing that we can change. I mean,
Like
the only thing we can do is
was it
just
the
paint it.
A-frame, the A-frame look, right?
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's gonna keep its silhouette. And
There you
but that's
go.
about the only element of charm it's gonna keep, because other than that, no,
Yeah,
it's going away.
right.
I don't know what color it used to be back then, but right now it is. I see in this room I have a lot of the blue, but I can't point it out. But it's like an ocean blue, like
Yeah.
oh God,
I think
can't
it's
even
the original color. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
good looking at all.
It's always
Yeah.
like,
Well,
sorry.
no,
Sorry, all you historians of 60s charm. Sorry, but that's not for me. But if you like the architecture, it's gonna stay. So
yeah, it seems that there was a pushback in the 90s to build baseball stadiums like they were back in the 20s and 30s, the old style, because we were kind of going with those in the 60s and 70s. We had those big cookie cutter multi-purpose stadiums in baseball and football and everything, and they really didn't have much charm at all. Now people talk about, oh geez, I really miss those stadiums from the 60s and 70s with the it's weird. Once you have something for a long period of time, you almost harken back. So who knows? Stuff comes in and out of style all the time. So who knows? Maybe you're sitting on a gold mine there with that old building. You just never know,
yeah, I guess the nostalgia will come back one day, but not today. We've lived with it for 7 years. For 7 years.
You know what? There are certain things that can be an eyesore. I get you.
Exactly.
We're speaking with Joey and Beth Conklin. ConkerCamping.com is their website. Of course, they're also on Instagram at Conker Camping, and that's Conker, not conquer like you've been conquered. Although it's you're conquering new territory with everything you're doing. It's Conker Camping, Conker camping.com. We're going to come back. Lots more to talk about with the Conklins. It's Joey, it's Beth, and we'll be back right after these words.
The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of the RV owners. We'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality control is in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org.
We are back on the RV Advisor podcast. I'm Tom Alexander. My guests are Joey and Beth Conklin from ConkerCamping.com. And, we were talking about the restoration. I know that's kind of like top of mind right now with you folks, and getting things rocking and rolling and getting the buildings in shape. So how close are we to lifting unveiling everything?
Well, on our Instagram story, we update that on a daily basis in terms of where we're at. So we just fixed our paint color and we're doing the siding. So we're pretty close to starting to paint that, and we follow that on a regular basis. So it's pretty neat. But
yeah,
hopefully soon.
We've been working on the soffit area up top over by the bathrooms, because that needed fixed the most. It just a lot of water damage came down, and it was like a TPO roof at one time, and then which is not everybody knows what TPO roof is. Sorry. It was a roof that was pretty much tarred with stone on top at one time, and then they went over with metal. So in the corner, it leaked, rotted out areas. So we just had to go back, reinforce it a little bit. So it was a 2-day project.
Is that something, Joey, that you're pretty handy with? Like, is that, like you've got experience in dealing with, or do you have to sub some of that stuff out?
Well, I have the experience of doing it. My background was sitting behind a computer, designing things for people to build instead of me actually building them. So I do have the ability to build it, but sometimes I'll need some people to come out and show me how to do some cuts that I can draw them. I just can't cut them.
Luckily, though, we had a guy staying at the campground during this season who was a pretty experienced carpenter, and he saw the office and offered to help. And he has been a lifesaver during this season and has been a great deal of helping us with the clubhouse and the renovation right now. So it's been really neat to utilize his services, and what a blessing to be able to have.
Yeah,
so
wow.
we're excited to get that project started and finished before the true hot season starts here in Alabama.
Yeah. Well, that's a good stroke of luck there.
Yeah.
And as we were saying earlier before we came on, Florida and Alabama, when it comes to summertime, man, it's summer. That's all I can say. It is hot and humid and unrelenting. But you're going to go a little bit north and maybe escape some of that humidity soon. Not exactly around the corner, but you've got big plans for a game and a football game up in Pennsylvania and State College, to be exact, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we're going to go to the Penn State Auburn game. So I'm super excited because Beth's a Auburn grad, and then State College was my stomping grounds. I didn't grow up too far from State College, so I go visit my friends all the time in college there, and different colleges as well. But when Penn State announced that they were playing Auburn, we just had to jump on this and take the RV. So we got a big trip. It's going to be about a week long, where we're going to go to Red River Gorge in Kentucky. That's going to be our first stop because my son is obsessed with this through YouTube. And then he wants to go to the chocolate factory, which I didn't get to take him last year at chocolate factory because of COVID. So we're going to go up to Hershey from there. And then Hershey's not far from State College. When I say not far, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe.
Yeah.
So we just
A
shoot
morning's
up there.
drive. Yeah.
So it's not too bad in an RV. It's not going to be as bad as driving from Eufaula to Kentucky and then Kentucky to Hershey, because we plan on doing that in one day. I don't know if that's the smartest thing, but it's 8 hours. So 8 hours, and then you're flat towing a vehicle. Yeah, it makes for a long day.
Yeah, that's a long day. Yeah.
But we have, it's interesting. We do have 3 small children. We have a 7, 4, and a 2-year-old. And they definitely keep us busy. And you can imagine with a family-owned business and trying to get the campground done with the kids, it's a challenge. But we also have a nice Class A RV that's my parents that we have access to. So in the summer, they tend to go away for 4 to 6 weeks in their RV and leave us here, which is fine. It's part of their plan and good for them. So they're off to a trip. And then when they come back in September, we'll go and take the RV again from Alabama up to Kentucky and Pennsylvania and make that loop as well. So it'll be a fun trip.
And Texas is on the docket too.
Yeah, we hope to do that in June. So we're going to make that trip to Texas, go out to San Antonio and take the kids. Being like I said, a family-owned business and having just my parents still live here. And so it's pretty much the 4 of us that own and we live on the campground and manage the campground. So it's really hard for all 4 of us to be gone at one time.
Right.
So Joey is going to stay here for a bit and then he's going to fly out and meet us, and I'll be on the RV with the kids and the parents. And he just gets to fly Delta, or I guess I put you on Southwest, you'll be fine. But he gets to fly out for for a couple days and meet us there, but he misses the opportunity to ride in the RV out there and back, which I don't know if you're really sad about.
Yeah, well, it does sound better like me flying out. I mean, we did this before where we took separate vacations, like the in-laws took a vacation and then I went to my brother's wedding, and it was a disaster when we came back. Actually, when I came back, it was a disaster to try to get everything.
It's hard for us to all miss to be away from the campground.
Sure, of course.
So
Somebody's got to mind the store, right?
Yeah.
So I figured they can drive out. Although I think it'd be really great to be with the three boys just that long to see. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of moments that I'm going to miss from which sounds weird. I mean, it's not like they're going to be gone for 3 weeks. They're going to be gone for a few days as they drive down, but there's still going to be great moments that I'm missing out on.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately that happens when you have your own business. Sometimes it is. I grew up in that where, my family had their own business and somebody always had to be there. Somebody always missed out on something.
There's plus sides and minuses. Yes.
Yeah. We were open 365 days a year. So it was a big family commitment, Yeah. But anyway, well, listen, it certainly sounds like you've got the next several months planned and your podcast is doing well. And why don't you let folks know where they can find you, the podcast, and where they can actually find you online too?
Yeah, Tom, you did a great job of spelling it out for everyone, and I appreciate that. So everything's the same. It's Conker Camping, Conker Camping and that's where you find us on Instagram, our website, Conker Camping. Our podcast is Conker Camping on all of the platforms. Our email is conkercamping@gmail.com. So you can find us anywhere with the Conker Camping. If you Google us, there is Conker, like a dome in England. If you Google Conker Camping, but we're getting higher and higher in Google searches if you Google Conker Camping. So don't get
avoid
confused.
The confusion.
Yeah. It's some British thing, but it's not too weird. So yeah, it's all good.
All right, folks. Well, listen, that's terrific. And, maybe after that big football excursion in the fall or whenever, when is the game? September, October?
September 18th.
September 18th.
18th or 19th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then we maybe we could check in and see how that went. Penn State versus Auburn, September 18th from State College. That sounds like a lot of fun. And
we'll definitely be tailgating there.
Yeah, and Conker Camping will be there. So that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Beth, Joey, thank you so much for taking time out and joining us, and safe travels, and we'll catch up again.
All right. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you for having us on, Tom.
Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. This is the RV Advisor Podcast. Back in just a moment. The RVACA is a charitable organization protecting the rights of RV owners. With your help, we'll work with dealers and manufacturers to ensure quality controls in place prior to delivery of an RV. Additionally, the RVACA provides assistance to disaster relief victims. Visit rvaca.org. We're back on the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and of course, our guest coordinator is with us. It's Neve Carizzacco. Hey, Neve.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well, and it's always something going on here, as we always talk about. It's just we're trying to all play catch up. Since the fire, you would think that we get slowed down, but our fearless leader, our fearless leader, Gigi Stetler, just that doesn't happen on her watch.
Absolutely not, Tom.
Yeah, including the social media site, which I know that you have an awful lot of involvement with, right?
Yeah, we're up and running. I'm using it and getting used to it. Oh, I have a visitor.
Hey, do we have a visitor?
Cole, you want to say hi? He's crawling over.
Oh, he's crawling over. Yeah.
Oh, you want to say hello to everybody?
That's how I start my day. I just crawl over. Hey, there's Cole.
Hello.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
He's such a voice.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Not
that's
good.
okay. No, it's all right. Don't
But
improv.
yes,
It's just
so
we don't rehearse here. It's just whatever
happens.
happens. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's up and running. It's very exciting. I'm using it as much as I possibly can at the moment. Just trying to weed out any issues that we're having with it or anything like that. As always, if there's anything that anyone wants to see changed on there or added, please let us know. Contact me at ncarey@thervadvisor.com or via our social media pages. But yeah, it's fun. One of my main questions to our listeners, members, followers, is if there's any other way that they would like to interact with adding their friends. At the moment, it's via email addresses and things like that. If there's any other routes that they think that we should use to add their followers and their friends and listeners, let us know, and we will by all means make the changes and improve our social media platform.
Excellent. Well, that's terrific. And here comes Cole again. He's keyed up. He is
he's just napped, so he's
he's ready to go. He's ready to go. There's a lot of energy going on. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you attend to Cole. And
awesome.
And we'll be back again next week right here on the RV Advisor Podcast. For Neve Carey-Zacco, I'm Tom Alexander. See you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh, Jesus Christ.